our behaviour in small ways, Hilary.
Indeed.
But there are bigger things at stake today than fashion and other things that we might keep ourselves cool with. You've got some interesting things that I hadn't heard of, something to do with rice.
Oh, things to keep cool. Yeah, this is a nice little tip. So, a sock full of rice grains, put it in your fridge, it stays cold for a long time.
Rice grains?
Yeah, rice
just like ordinary rice?
Just holds on to the cold a lot longer. So instead of a hot water bottle, you want either a cold water bottle with ice in it and put in your bed, or one of these, full of rice, very cold, out of the fridge. They work very well. Choice of colours, pink or black. Like this. Wet flannel on the face, so that it enables you to evaporate sweat from the skin better, and you cool down much quicker. Obviously, water spray on the face. Evaporation is really important because when the outside temperature is hotter than our body temperature, we can't lose heat in the normal way that we do, hot to cold. So we can only lose heat through evaporation. So the process of sweating and evaporation keeps us cooler. And using something that is moist and cool on the face or the body, under the armpits especially, is helpful.
Yeah, why the armpits? You've got a...
Right, you know when we're cold, we hunch up like this. We keep our armpits closed with our arms next to our sides. It's reducing our surface area so we lose less heat. And it's the opposite when it's hot. If we open up our arms, we put an ice pack in our armpits where there's a lot of blood flow, we cool down much quicker.
Can I just ask you, because some people feel hot quicker than other people. I don't really feel the heat. I always go, I'm not built for that. I'm built for the heat. That's my heritage. I always think that. But can that be a false psychology in that could a person who goes, I can cope with the heat quite well, can you actually, is it a psychological thing, or can some people's bodies cope better with the heat and therefore, or is that you've got to be careful about thinking I'm coping quite well?
Physiologically, we're all different. Some people do cope better, but it is misleading to think, I'm not that hot at the moment. And that's why a lot of elderly people particularly faint, become dizzy and faint in the heat. They wear too many clothes when it's hot, their blood pressure falls, and they fall and hurt themselves. So that's one of the risk factors in the extreme heat. So that's one thing. But some people do cope better with others. We're built differently. Our blood vessels don't leak so much fluid when we're hot, because when we're hot, we try and lose heat by dilating blood vessels in our skin. But as I say, if the outside temperature is hotter than our body core temperature, that's a problem.
One thing I learned running marathons is that the first time you feel thirsty is the moment where actually it's too late.
You're already
you're dehydrating.
That's right.
So it's actually really important to drink before you feel the need to drink.
That's a great point. It's really hard with kids.
That's a really good point. Yeah, no, that's true. And when you're exercising, you are running at a higher temperature than when you're resting. I mean, that might sound obvious, but your body temperature goes up to 38, 39 with extreme exercise, which is why extreme exercise today and tomorrow would not be a good idea.
Extreme exercise or any exercise?
Well, any exercise really is going to increase your body temperature. So that's not what you want in an extreme heat wave.
So it's not just people who are vulnerable who have to worry.
No.
It's something that everybody has to be concerned about.
That's right. And babies particularly, their heat regulation mechanisms don't work as effectively. So babies need to be kept in the shade at all times at the moment. They need extra water if they're being breastfed, probably. They could be tepid sponged, just as if they do if they have a temperature through infection. So strip them off, get a cold flannel, wipe them down, evaporation.
And what's that water bottle there for?
That's just if you spray this on your face or on your sheets to sleep better at night.
Sheets.
Yeah, a nice bit of... Does it work? It should work.
Do you know, the interesting thing is that some of these things seem so obvious when you say it, but we're really not used to having to take extra measures. How worried are you, Hilary, that, the forecasters are right, that actually, that the hospitals and surgeries do have to be primed for people, becoming very ill over the next... And can we just talk about what heat stroke feels like, how you know if you've got it?
OK.
Lots of people suffering with COVID at the moment. I think it's quite confusing for people.
Absolutely. So first stage of heat exhaustion is headache, feeling a bit confused, feeling dizzy, feeling faint, sweating profusely. So this is when your body temperature is rising, you're trying to lose heat, you're feeling unwell. You've got about 30 minutes to an hour to put that right before it becomes heat stroke. Heat stroke is much more life-threatening. Heat stroke is where you've lost so much sweat, you can't drink enough, your skin now is parched dry. You're not able to evaporate any sweat from your skin, so your core temperature keeps rising, and that's when you become more confused and you're probably going to collapse.
I'm worried about people having a little drink and sitting outside in the sun.
Yeah.
Because I think that you're relaxed and, you know, you're not necessarily following all the conversation. You think you're just enjoying yourself.
Well, yeah.
I think, you know, when people are walking home from the pub and there's a canal nearby, that's often those tragic stories that we do read out the next morning, actually.
The problem with alcohol is that it's a diuretic, so it makes us pee more. And that, in turn, leads to losing more water than you're actually consuming through beer, for example. So you're becoming more dehydrated by drinking alcohol unless you drink water with it.
On a lighter note, sweating is good for us.
Yes.
But you've got to choose your clothing properly. Because white is fine, black is fine, but like turquoise, it's a male disaster.
What is it?
Patches.
Turquoise is a male disaster.
Light green, light blue.
What's this personal traumatic experience you've had? Do you want to share with the group?
I remember on Strictly, the very first time we got together, 29 degrees. I turn up, everybody else is in white and black.
Yes.
I spent the whole time having to hide from the cameras because I had these massive, great patches on my turquoise.
I remember Tony Blair at a Labour Party conference giving a speech. Right. He started with a light blue shirt and ended with a dark blue shirt.
Exactly.
Sweat just spread.
Exactly.
Let's just get a word from Laura, of course. Just to put into context everything that Hilary said there, just give us a roundup of exactly what it is that, you know, the Met Office is forecasting today and why it is a first.
So, first of all, it is a national emergency, and that's been declared by not just the Met Office, a whole panel of people, including government agencies, the NHS. But we have our extreme red heat warning from the Met Office. We've never issued one of these before, and it's valid for Monday and for Tuesday. So that is what is happening there. And it's for the red areas, not just for London, it's all the way up through the Midlands, up towards Manchester, up towards Leeds, eastern areas of England. But outside of this, we have our amber area as well. And then the big thing is, it's not just the daytime temperatures, the nighttime temperatures are set to be exceptionally high as well. So if we look at what's happening through day and night, and we've heard Dr. Hilary there talking about whether people should be exercising, whether they shouldn't be, it is worth pointing out temperatures already are in the low 20s across the UK today. They're set to climb as we head through the day. Top temperatures are forecast to be 29 degrees Celsius. That is in excess of 100 in Fahrenheit. If you're thinking of going for a run at 9 o'clock tonight, it will still be 30 degrees Celsius. Overnight tonight, temperatures will be heading down to around about 20 to 22 degrees Celsius. And then again, by 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, it will still be 30 degrees in Celsius. It's the day and nighttime temperatures. But it is worth pointing out it is just for 2 days. But anytime temperatures go over 35 degrees Celsius, we increase our excess deaths. And we saw that in the heat wave in 2018. Also, the high temperatures we had in 2019, where we've had our highest temperatures ever recorded, and then they're into the thousands, partly due to COVID, and we'd like to see those increasing as we head through the day. And earlier, we talked about how things are changing, and we talked about how in 2050, I was forecasting extreme temperatures in a fake forecast for 2050 to show what the projections of climate change could be. And you can see on the map there that temperatures in the north into the high 30s, in the south up to 42 degrees. Now, that is a reality. This was something I forecast around about 8 years ago to happen in 2050, but now that is the forecast that I'm predicting for today and tomorrow. So climate change is not just making this more likely, it is making it probable. What I thought was once impossible is now possible.
Yes.